So we started out boiling 1 pound of elbow macaroni noodles. And you don't want to overcook them. So you really want to do them a little salt in the water is always a good idea. And then you want to cook them al dente. So they're a little bit firm to the bite right now because this is going to bake again in the oven, and that way the noodles will really stand up. So this pasta has been boiling for about, what, 10, 12 minutes, Ann?
Yep.
I'm just going to drain it. And this makes a nice big casserole dish. So it's great on its own for dinner, or you could certainly use it as a side. So I'm going to put it into a big bowl here, and then I'm going to toss that macaroni with a little bit of butter, a few tablespoons of butter. You wouldn't have to. You could, leave that step out if you wanted to. But it's Southern style. So we're going to, a couple of those noodles, get them in there. Go all out on this one. Okay, so while that butter's kind of melting with the hot noodles, one of the things that's different about Southern style mac and cheese is normally has some eggs in it. So it's got more of a custard, creamy kind of texture thing, and it really is great in this recipe. So this recipe actually calls for 3 eggs. If you have a potluck or something to go to, you can't go wrong with bringing a big batch of macaroni and cheese. Kids love it, adults love it, it's just all good. And I'll never forget the first time I made homemade macaroni and cheese. I was out of college, and most of the mac and cheese I was used to was from the box, so I thought, oh, I had a few people over for dinner and I thought I could tackle this, and everyone went crazy over it. Everybody loved it. And it's cheap to make too. So to my eggs, I'm going to do some garlic salt, and this is just a Southern staple. It's going to give that some good flavor. So some garlic salt and some black pepper. And I like to go a little heavy on that black pepper. It's up to you. This is a lot of pasta, so I want to give it some good flavor. Also some Worcestershire sauce. That's another big Southern ingredient. You're going to find that in a lot of Southern kitchens, and just gonna add some extra flavor so that this mac and cheese is not boring at all, that's for sure. Now we're gonna do some half and half. You could certainly do milk, but half and half is gonna make it really rich and creamy and wonderful. And we've got our delicious Lamers half and half. We're gonna do 3 cups of that. And again, you're gonna notice a lot of my casseroles have a little more liquid than the ones that you're used to. Let's see. There we go. So what happens is this is a lot of pasta, and when it cooks, it really tends to soak up that liquid. So that's why we've got so much liquid in here. The 3 eggs, which is really going to make it nice and creamy and custard-like, and then the 3 cups of half and half. And when you're tossing it with your pasta, you're going to notice there's a lot of liquid, but it will soak it up and it will make it nice and creamy and wonderful. Okay. So I'm whisking my eggs and my half and half together, and the Worcestershire sauce and the garlic salt and pepper. And I think I'm going to do a little more garlic salt and a little more pepper. As I said, this makes a big batch. Okay. At this point, I'm going to add my pasta.
No.
And I've got a nice big casserole dish. And you really want to spray the dickens out of this, because this can be sticky. And then my other favorite thing about a really great macaroni and cheese is the topping. So the topping for this is your choice. You can use like a buttery cracker, like a Ritz, or just a seasoned Italian breadcrumb. So I'm going to melt a few tablespoons of butter. And then we're going to start putting this whole baby together. But the buttery topping really makes this, so don't believe in that out. That is no good at all. So we're going to start layering. So we're going to take the buttered pasta, some of that, and throw that on the bottom of our dish. Then we're going to take some of this, we've got quite a bit of shredded cheddar cheese, so you just kind of want to start layering this together. A few cups of cheddar cheese. Butter is melted. We'll get back to the topping in just a little bit. So we're going to layer some cheese. Over the top. And then we're going to take some of this custard. Lay some of that in there. Then we're going to do the rest of the pasta. Some more cheese. And the rest of this custard. I do a lot of different mac and cheese recipes, but I have to tell you, the addition of the egg in here really makes this one extra special. All right. So now we're going to cheese it up even a little bit more, just over the top. So we've got cheese in here that's going to melt with that custard, and then we're going to put some cheese on the top. And I'm just using straight up cheddar. You could certainly use a mixture of cheeses, but we're keeping this just Southern style and pretty simple. More cheese, more better in my book. And then the topping, as I said, is just dried Italian breadcrumbs or crushed buttery crackers. And I mix, if you're using the crushed crackers, you'll just mix the cracker crumbs with some of the butter. In this case, I'm just using the Italian breadcrumbs. So mix that together. And you're just going to sprinkle that over the top. Now, this is certainly a make-ahead, so if you are making it ahead and you want to bake it a little later, I wouldn't add the topping until right before baking. So at this point, this just gets sprinkled all over the top. I do like to bake this dish covered for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then uncover it just the last few minutes of baking so that those breadcrumbs get a little bit brown. This is always a winner. And, well, what's not to love about it? Mounds of cheese and pasta, it's just really terrific. So come back with me. Let me show you how this all comes together. My Southern style baked mac and cheese, and you can see just how creamy and wonderful it is. Do you see that? Let me show you with a spoon. And that's what makes it extra special is the, yeah, that's what we're talking about. How good does that look, Anne? We'll let it cool off just a little bit, and I think the rest of the crew is just going to dive into that. And by the way, if you're looking for this recipe, you can certainly get it right on our website. Coming up, we are making some more Southern favorites. Classic hot turkey sandwich that you find all over in Kentucky. It's called a Kentucky Hot Brown. Well, we'll show you where you can get one around here. Homemade banana cream pie, an andouille sausage and chicken dish that I think you're going to love, and a whole lot more. So don't go anywhere. We're just getting this Southern classic show started, so stay with us. We'll be back.